Right now. There is something in your life you cannot fix. You've tried, you've thought about it again and again, you've prayed about it, you've worried about it, and still, nothing seems to change. It feels stuck, out of your control, and maybe, that's exactly how it's supposed to be, because Jesus is saying, my child. What you cannot fix, I am already working on. Not everything is yours to solve, not every problem needs your effort, some things need your surrender. You are carrying a burden that was never meant for you, you are trying to control a situation that only God can change. Jesus says, my child. Release what you cannot fix, give it to me. Even when it feels impossible. Even when you don't see a solution, even when everything looks the same, I am working, behind the scenes, quietly, powerfully. Jesus is saying, my child. Just because you cannot see movement, does not mean nothing is happening. Things are being arranged, situations are shifting, answers are forming, in ways you cannot imagine, and at the right moment, everything will make sense, everything will change. Jesus says, my child. Trust me in what you cannot control, I am fixing what you cannot fix. If you are ready to release what you cannot control, type Amen and trust God's plan for your life. Now. Something begins to shift inside you, not outside, but within. The moment you stop trying to control everything, your heart starts to feel lighter. Jesus is saying, my child. When you release the burden, I replace it with peace. At first, letting go feels difficult, because you've been holding on for so long, trying to fix it, trying to understand it, trying to make it work. But now, you are learning something new, you are learning to surrender. You may begin to notice your thoughts becoming quieter, your anxiety slowly fading, a calm feeling you didn't have before. This is not weakness, this is trust. Jesus says, my child. You don't need to carry what I can handle. Give it to me completely. Even if your situation has not changed yet, something inside you has, and that is where everything begins, because when your mind is calm, you stop reacting out of fear, you stop making decisions from pressure, you begin to see clearly again. Jesus is saying, my child. This peace you feel is my presence, it is a sign that I am in control. There may still be moments where your mind tries to go back to worry, but now, you catch it, you pause, you breathe, and you choose to trust again, and each time you do, your peace grows stronger. Jesus says, my child. Hold on to this peace, it will guide you through what is ahead. Now. Something starts happening outside of you. The moment you truly let go, the situation you were holding on to begins to move, not because you forced it, but because you released it. Jesus is saying, my child. When you trust me with what you cannot fix, I begin to work in ways you could not see before. At first, the changes may be small, almost unnoticeable, but they are real. You may begin to notice a situation becoming less tense, a problem slowly finding its solution, something that felt stuck starting to move again. This is not coincidence, this is movement. Jesus says, my child. I am working on what you gave to me, do not take it back with worry. Because sometimes, after letting go, you may feel the urge to control it again, to overthink it again, to fix it again, but now, you know better, you pause, you remind yourself, it's no longer in my hands. Jesus is saying, my child. Trust the process I have started, what I am doing will unfold in the right time. At this stage, your faith grows deeper, not because everything is perfect, but because you can see the shift, you can feel that something is changing, and that gives you strength. Jesus says, my child. Keep your heart calm, what you surrendered is now being restored in the right way. This is where waiting feels different, not heavy, but peaceful. Not forced, but trusting, because now, you are not carrying the burden anymore, God is. Now. Everything begins to move more clearly, what once felt slow, what once felt uncertain, is now becoming visible change. Jesus is saying, my child. What I begin in silence, I reveal in power. The situation you released is no longer stuck, it is unfolding. You may begin to notice clear progress where there was once delay, solutions appearing without struggle, things finally working in your favor. This is no longer just a shift, this is a breakthrough. The weight you once carried is lifting completely, the confusion you once felt is turning into clarity. Jesus says, my child. This is what happens when you trust me fully. I take what you cannot fix and make a way for you. At this stage, everything feels different. You are no longer stressed. You are no longer overwhelmed. Instead, you feel calm, even as things change quickly. Jesus is saying, my child. Stay grounded in this moment. Do not return to worry now that I am moving. Because when things start improving, your mind may try to go back to fear, but now, you recognize it, and you choose peace instead. This is where your faith becomes strong, not just in words, but in experience, because now, you can see what trust has done. Jesus says, my child. Keep moving forward. What I am doing now is only the beginning of something greater. Now, everything begins to settle into something real. What started as a shift, then became a breakthrough, is now becoming your new reality. Jesus is saying, my child. What I fix in your life, I establish, I build it to last. The situation you once struggled with is no longer unstable, it is becoming steady. You may begin to notice progress that continues instead of stopping, solutions that remain instead of fading, a sense of stability you didn't have before. This is no longer temporary, this is lasting change. Before, things felt uncertain, you questioned everything, you didn't know what would happen next, but now, there is clarity. There is direction, there is peace in your path. Jesus says, my child. This is the result of your trust. You surrendered, and now you are seeing what I can do. At this stage, your confidence becomes natural. You are no longer forcing yourself to believe, you feel it, because now, you can see the outcome, you can experience the change, and that gives you strength. Jesus is saying, my child. Continue forward, stay grounded, stay grateful, and stay connected to me. Even when small challenges appear, they don't shake you, because now you understand something deeper. You are supported, you are guided, and you are exactly where you need to be. This is your stable stage, where success is consistent, where peace is natural. Where growth continues. You are no longer trying to fix everything, you are living in what has been fixed. Jesus says, my child. What you see now is only the beginning, there is still more ahead for you. If you feel your breakthrough becoming stable success, type Amen and continue walking forward with faith. Now, everything feels different, not because life is perfect, but because you are at peace. What once felt broken, what once felt impossible to fix, is no longer a burden, it has become something stable, and now, it is becoming something meaningful. Jesus is saying, my child. I did not just fix your situation, I transformed your life. You begin to notice a deeper shift. It's not just about what changed, it's about who you have become, calm, strong, centered. This is true fulfillment, not just having answers, but having peace within those answers. Jesus says, my child. When you trust me fully, I give you more than solutions, I give you purpose. At this stage, your life feels balanced, your mind is clear, your heart is steady, you are no longer reacting to everything around you, you are responding with awareness. Jesus is saying, my child. Protect this peace, it is guiding your life now. And something new begins to awaken inside you, a sense of purpose. You may begin to feel a desire to help others through what you went through, a calling to share your journey, a need to bring light into someone else's life. This is not random, this is your purpose rising. Everything you experienced was preparing you for this moment. Jesus says, my child. Your life is meant to inspire. What you have overcome will guide others. And now, you are ready to live not just for yourself, but for something greater. This is where your journey becomes powerful. This is where your life becomes meaningful. If you feel your life becoming peaceful, purposeful, and fulfilled, type Amen and continue walking in faith and light.